What's up? It's David Palmer, the Leo King. I'm back to my Uncut. Sorry I was gone last week. I was sick. We're gonna go into how crazy this week is, how much is going on, all the planets that are changing. We finally made it to a big shift point again. Woohoo! I'll see you inside. What is going on? It's David Palmer, the Leo King, and this is my show, Uncut Astrology, where I take off the mask and I go deep into the astrology week of August 5th through the 11th of 2015. So Wednesday to Wednesday. Hope everybody's doing wonderful. So sorry that I did not make last week's Uncut. Lot going on. And if you're watching this tonight on Tuesday, or if you're watching this on Wednesday, I am doing a pay-per-view event about this whole month and how big and how wild all this is and what this week is setting us up for. So go to my website, theleoking.com, click on events on pay-per-view to get access to the event. Wednesday night the 5th at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Now it's super hot out here. I am sweating, so I'm gonna get this Uncut as fastly done as I can. And speaking of weeks that are gonna fly by, this week is gonna fly by. Mercury is going to come into the conjunction of Jupiter and Venus, which is a big deal because our minds and the speed of reality, I always look at Mercury as the second hand on the clock, is at its fastest. We are at fast speed, lots of things happening, and there's a lot of things that we need to understand, and I think big decisions as well, because Mercury is going to square Saturn and Scorpio. Remember, Saturn and Scorpio is squaring all this stuff in Leo. We have big decisions to make in our life, big things to contemplate regarding relationships, regarding big projects, regarding who we are in our life, and this is a week of where we have to come to big clarity and big decisions. Mercury on top of Jupiter is a big deal. Mercury has to learn to look bigger. This is us seeing big revelations in our life, big understandings, maybe looking at broader horizons, looking at the future. Big squares of Saturn and Scorpio. What are we ready to end? What are we not passionate about anymore? This is going to be intense. Venus retrograde on top of all this. Mercury on Venus, communicating to people, really understanding what you want out of relationships, what you don't. You know, big negotiations as well with contracts. We're dealing with big dollar amounts, money, you know, investments. It's all going down right now. This is a week where you're going to see everything's going down. This is Jupiter leaving Leo this week, and by next week, at the beginning of next week, we have Jupiter entering Virgo. Huge transition. Last time Jupiter entered Virgo was in 2003, so it has been a long time since we had Jupiter in Virgo. Jupiter in Virgo is very unique and odd. That's because Jupiter is a big sign, big planet in Virgo, a very Mercury-ruled sign, smaller energy, more precise, not so much about the big stuff. We're going to talk about how that's a big deal. This is also such a big week because Mars is leaving Cancer and coming into Leo. So if you want to know the big energy, this is it. This is a power-punched week full of power-punched energy. It is a big kaboom into your face of I need to understand life now. I need to understand my relationships. I need to look at my reality different. I have to change my schedule now. I have to change the way I go about my life. This is Jupiter entering Virgo. This is time for us to expand our reality, expand and change things and reorganize, and more importantly, start to look at how our life comes together with our heart, with our passions. I mean, this is extreme Jupiter, you know, square to Saturn that happened. You know, with great expansion has come lots of lessons and, you know, really learning to have to structure our life better. These have been hard lessons. We're having to learn to be more responsible in our life about our truth. And it's also positive because it's bringing us to great energy in our life where we can be better, where we can have more, where we can have the life we've always wanted. But there's that great work behind it. This is also a powerful week because when Mars comes into Leo, it's going to kablam things. Things are about to explode. Those investments are going to happen. That job that you needed to come is coming. That relationship's going to end. This relationship's going to begin. This is a week where it is the major turning point. And it all is leading towards all this stuff that's building into September when we have the eclipses. The sun still hasn't reached Venus yet. We're going to have Mars and Venus conjunct this month. This month is so powerful. This is the starting gate of power like you have not seen before. Your life changing in ways that you didn't think was possible. And Jupiter coming into Virgo is a major change of the story. You know, this is a leap forward into really getting to the specifics, getting clearer on things. I think there's been a lot of uncertainty with Neptune that we've been having. You know, this is also Saturn direct, and now it's starting to move forward. So when you add that on top of Mars in Leo, where we need to be creative, we need to be expressing our heart now, this is pulling us out of some really dark holes. Now, that background is still there. I think that this is a week where we need to not let the past get to us and move forward and realize that there is, you know, great work that can happen and great things that can come if you move forward and you keep pushing. You know, use this week to push forward out of your dump from the past. You can reorganize, you can create a new schedule, you can create a new life. And with relationships, this is extremely powerful and karmic. This is extremely unique and different. This is a Venus retrograde with Mercury involved. This is a Venus retrograde with Saturn involved. Big responsible choices to make, big hard choices to make, but big conversations to have as well that are going to go to the deepest core layers of who you are, of what you want and you don't want. And remember, this Venus retrograde goes for another month. So if all this stuff seems so magical, it probably is. If all that magic turns into stone eventually, it's okay. Just know that this is how powerful and magic the times are. And this is a week to power punch and to get ready to move forward into your new life. The new life that you know you have to create, that you have to get involved with. And it could feel radically new after this week. Radically new. I think the deepest lesson, though, is to find your heart, to find your true happiness, to find what makes you scream for joy again. How are you going to bring joy back into your life? How are you going to bring your inner child out? And how deep do you have to go into facing your fear? How deep do you have to go into making tough choices and conversations this week that you have to? You know, you have to bring them out. You have to speak up. You have to let it out. This is Mercury on top of Jupiter square Saturn. This is also Mercury coming into Virgo, which means very specific. Things are going to come quick. Lots of clarity, lots of details. I hope you can handle this rocket ship this week. This is not a week where going under the covers is going to work. Mars leaving Cancer has done that. You have been under the covers enough. You are now truly forced out, and it's time for you to face the music. Join me on my app, Apple and Android, or my premium website, leoking.lookstack.com, if you want to get access to my daily horoscopes, daily videos that will inspire you and change your life, especially with my daily horoscopes. We go into relationships, we go into daily tarot, I do weekly tarot, intuitive, and we do push or text notifications to your phone every day about what's going on in the astrology. It's an app you do not want to miss. Read the reviews, or just ask anybody in the Leo King group on Facebook. Thanks so much for all the support. I don't know how in the hell I got here being sick and going through craziness, and if you only knew what my astrology chart looked like right now, you would just be like, how in the hell did this guy even show up and do this? But you know what? I did, and if you only knew that we can all get through it, this week is about that lion roaring. At every moment, remember, you are Simba climbing back on the rock after thinking like you lost and regaining the kingdom. And this is a week where you regain your kingdom, you change it, you make it the best. I'm sending you all my love, all my light, and I hope you have some rockin' weird relationship stuff go on, because this week, magic in the relationship field could also be a couple bad apples. Be careful which apple you eat. Thanks so much. Love you guys from the bottom of my heart. I will see you on the next Uncut.